I am figuring something out. I haven't decided what to call this video yet, but I'll figure it out soon. So I've realised something about the fig tree. So if you're familiar with the Bible, you'll know that the fig tree is mentioned numerous times. So in the Garden of Eden, there was there were two trees in the middle of the garden, in the midst of the garden, and the tree of life and the tree of knowledge of good and evil. So the tree of knowledge of good and evil, and Adam was told not to eat from that tree and don't touch it, otherwise surely you will die. That's what Adam was told. God told that to Adam. Someone doesn't want me to talk. Mary isn't happy. She ain't happy. Yeah. And I guess my dead mum's not happy. Fiona's not happy about this one either. I wonder why. Anyway, so what happened after Eve ate the forbidden fruit and gave it to Adam? Well, their eyes were opened, weren't they? I mean, this is the thing, right? Because, before, they didn't know it explains that after they had the fruit, their eyes were opened, and then they saw that they were naked. So this is the thing, they figured it out, right? And obviously fig is part of the word figure, right? Their eyes opened, which basically it implies that they gained some sort of knowledge. I mean, obviously they were eating fruit that was forbidden from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. And of course, the expression figuring it out means to acquire some sort of knowledge. So, excuse me. So I don't know if you've ever heard of Fiji water. I imagine I've probably drunk it. I don't know if I've ever drunk it before. Maybe I've never drunk it before. But there's a company that it's called Fiji, and it's it sells bottled water. You can get it in this country. Apparently, it comes from Fiji, which is a very, very long way away. Apparently, I don't know. I mean, yeah, I know. Fiji's near Australia, I think. Anyways. Obviously, my dead mum, her name was Fiona. Okay? And my name's Grant. Fiona was called Fee by many people. And if you look at the two words together, so you got fig tree, well, you'll notice that fee, F is the first letter of fig, and EE, those are the last two letters of tree. So you get, there's interesting words in there, right? So you go, well, there's fit, there's fire, there's free, and you could even argue maybe there's gree, as in agree or something. I don't know. But fig is, it's in lots of interesting words, like fight is one of them. And there's that film, Fight Club. And the thing is, in tarot and cards, well, in playing cards you get the suit of clubs, and it's the clubs that are considered to be the wands, and the wands are considered to be the fire. So yeah. So what else did I, and the other thing is that, well, I posted a video, videos, I think it was yesterday or the day before, about, it was a video by a band called Trust Company, and the song was called Figure 8. And I explained in my own video that I am figure 8, and that I spoke about the knot in the stomach, because figure 8 can mean a knot. It's a type of knot, and and this is the thing, because the world is trying to bind me with binding magic. It's trying to keep me stuck, so it can rob me of what belongs to me. And obviously I'm breaking free of that. So, the fig tree. So obviously there's figure. Yeah, figure or figurine. Because you get like little toys or something like that. They're called figurines. I could read the dictionary definition of that. Maybe, I don't know. Can I be bothered? Yeah, okay. So what does it say on Wikipedia? It says here, I'll give you a quick read to figurine. It says here, a figurine or statuette is a small three-dimensional sculpture that represents a human, deity, or animal, or in practice, a pair or small group of them. Figurines have been made in many media, with clay, metal, wood, glass, and today plastic or resin the most significant. Ceramic figurines not made of porcelain are called terracottas in historical contexts. Figures with movable parts allowing limbs to be posed are more likely to be called dolls, mannequins or action figures, or robots or automata, if they can move on their own. So, figurines and figures are, that's connected to idol worship. I mean, think about it, a model, for instance, right? That's what they call them, right? Fashion models, right? Like, what Kate Moss was, right? Or, yeah, as an example. She would walk down the catwalk in different clothes, and She was a model. You know, she showed off her figure. And I suppose a lot of women do that. They don't have to be supermodels or anything like that, you know. Women, people like to show off their figure. Yeah. And so, yeah. So that's the thing. Yeah. It's interesting. It's a complicated one. Yeah. But the thing is, you know, I grew up living with my mum. And I lived with my grandparents as well, quite, you know, until I was 12 or 13 years old. And I've lived with other people, you know, I've lived with various other, you know, mum had girlfriends and stuff like that. You know, there was Jennifer when I was growing up. I mean, the thing is that my mum was my immediate family. You know, she was my closest family member, biological family member. And so, you know, family tree, yeah. I mean, that's the thing, right? You know, the family tree, the fig tree, Fee is my mom's name. You know, whether you spell it F-I or F-E-E, it doesn't really matter. And that's the other thing as well, right? Because my mom's a very evil witch. Yeah, a very evil witch. Now, what are the Freemasons? Yeah, you know the Freemasons? I can't believe I haven't noticed this before. That literally, you know, I always looked at it as, you know, oh, it's Masons. And I'm thinking, hang on a sec, it says fee in free. You know? I mean, that's the thing, right? You know, the truth shall set you free. And fee is literally in the word free. I mean, my mum would usually spell fee, F-E-E. It's only missing the R, and then it's free. You know, fee, ma, son, the Freemasons. Yeah? I mean, does it have to be any clearer who's under attack here? It's me. You know, all these people, they, you know, I mean, that's the thing. My mum was a very evil witch. And this is the thing, right? Because you know, we were of the same biological family. She was my immediate family member, right? And so, you know the word figurine. Well, that's spelled fig, as in F-I-G, urine, which is U-R-I-N-E, urine. I mean, this is the thing. I am the fountain of living waters. I mean, you know, fig is, you know, it's Fiji, you know, because it's F-I-G, it's Fiji. And obviously in Fiji, you know, they're very popular. Fiji's a very popular brand of water. So the, you know, the Fiji tree or the fig tree. Yeah, like I said, I'm still figuring this out. Yeah. But that's the thing, right? Because fig, it's connected to fight. You know, people worship, they watch boxing or wrestling or UFC, you know, that kind of stuff. You know, got figures as in like models and bodies, you know what I mean? Like all that kind of stuff. You Fig is in the word flight as well. So did I mention, Adam and Eve, after they figured it out that they were naked, they hid themselves from me, God. And they sewed fig leaves together to hide their nakedness. Right? What else can I tell you about, interesting stories from the Bible about figs? What the fuck? Hang on. Where the... Here, go back. Oh. Hang on. So here it says, figs and fig trees are mentioned multiple times in the Bible, often symbolizing prosperity and abundance. Notably, Jesus cursed a fig tree in the New Testament when he found it barren, which serves as a metaphor for spiritual fruitfulness and judgment. I mean, it's interesting to think because, the tree is called the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Well, I'm God. I'm definitely good. I guess you could say I'm evil as well, perhaps, in some sense. I mean, I can go both ways. My mom, Fee, oh yeah, she was evil. Very. She had no love for me. I mean, this is the thing as well. The word figs is, it's Fee, G-S, F-I, Fee, G-S, figs. G-S those are my initials. My mom, I remember a couple of times when she gave me her computer passwords in the past, to log into various things, that the passwords she liked to use, were quite often things like Fiona Grant. She would have a password that starts Fiona Quran, and then she would, whatever came after that. So she was doing word magic with her passwords. That's the thing, right? She did all kinds of stuff like that. Okay? So, yeah. Another interesting thing is that we know, well, at Christmas time, at Christmas time, Christmas time, people give each other presents. And, those are gifts. And obviously, if you spell the word gift backwards, well, it's T, fig. And obviously, if you ever look through a textbook or something like that, and it's got lots of pictures and stuff like that, it might say, fig 1, fig 2, fig 3, fig 4, fig 5, fig 6, fig 7, and all that stuff. It'll have images. It'll say, look at the figure, and it's associated with numbers. It'll have fig 1, fig 2. It's numbered. And also, on computers, on the internet, people use things called GIFs. A GIF is spelled GIF, and it's a type of file. It's just a bunch of images in a loop. So there's a lot of magic associated with the word fig and GIF. I mean, obviously, GIF is just the reverse of fig, so it's basically, it's the same word. It's just it's turned around. So what else can I say about this fig tree? Yeah, I mean, the story about Jesus cursing a fig tree is quite interesting. I mean, because the idea is, if a tree does not bear good fruit, then what good is it? It should be chopped down. It should be taken down. And the story is that Jesus, he went to this fig tree, and it was actually out of season for figs. So it didn't have any figs on the tree. And it didn't have, I mean, I guess in that sense, Jesus is good, and the tree didn't bear any fruit. So, it wasn't bearing fruit to Jesus, who is good, and Jesus cursed the tree. It was also a fulfillment of the prophecy from Jeremiah, because Jeremiah, it says, the fig tree is also used in prophetic literature where its destruction symbolizes judgment, which is Jeremiah chapter 5 verse 17. And Jesus came to fulfill the things spoken by the prophets. So the cursing of the fig tree was the fulfillment of that prophecy. The way that works, the way I see that is because, Jeremiah had, that was all written down, that prophecy was going to happen. And, Jesus cursing the fig tree, it cancelled out, it's a fulfillment of prophecy, but it sort of, it cancels, it's how magic works, right? Because, it's a cancelling out of the, because what Jeremiah said about the fig tree is a type of spell. It's a type of magic spell, and so Jesus basically fulfilled it, basically it cancels out the spell. It sort of, it finishes the spell work, kind of thing. Anyway, what else can I say about this fig tree? Well, this is the thing, the world's fighting me. The world is in a magic fight with me. Fig is in the word fight. How strange. So, yeah. Excuse me for a sec. So yeah, figure it out. I mean, this is the thing, right? If I said I have figured it out, well, someone might just have a fig in their hand and eat that instead and be like, you know what I mean? I'll be honest, I don't eat figs. I mean, I don't eat them very often. I couldn't tell you the last time I ate a fig. Yeah. I mean, this is the kind of how I look at it, because of the word figurine, which is fig urine, and basically my urine is magic. It's like because I'm the fountain of living waters, and so that's God's water. So Fiona, because she's her name's Fee, and then there's the fig tree, the family tree, and I'm part of her family tree. Yeah, I mean, and what name did she choose for me? Grant. And that's the thing. She's just trying to steal from me. That's what she's trying to do. She's trying to claim. She's trying to pass herself off as she wants. She's trying to pretend my fountain of living water is hers. Yeah. I mean, it's also, I've got Mary, the ghost of Aaliyah Dana Houghton, who was Mary. She's on me upside down. That's 69. In the sixth letter of the alphabet, is F, and the ninth letter of the alphabet is I. That's F-I, Fee. It's how you, and then add the G, you get fig. And she's got her, lipstick, right? Lipstick. She's given, you know what I mean? Like, when I go to pee, well, it's kind of, her ghost is still on me. I mean, you know what I mean? She's trying to, people want my power. These people are trying to steal my power. That's what it is, right? I've explained it. So, Um, um, and this is the thing. I have a figure. I eat food. But also, fig is a food. Fiona died in 2021. She was cremated. I mean, that's the other thing as well, because my dad's name, my biological dad, his name is Charles. You know, that reads like Charles. And my mum was a lesbian, and she was cremated. You know, charred, right? Char can also work if someone's got dark skin. The word char, because with like Aaliyah, Dana Houghton, well, she was a black woman, right? And Lee, you know the word, the name Charlie, Lee, Ali, yeah, Charlie. So it's I'm just explaining the word magic that they use. Yeah, you seen the films? You heard of Charlie's Angels? Yeah. A bunch of Hollywood nonsense. Yeah, I mean, this is the thing, right? Because Charlie is also a drug, isn't it? A lot of people like to take Charlie, the drug, cocaine. Yeah, they do, don't they? I mean, imagine that. You get a bag of white powder, and it's just like, oh, Charlie's Angels. You know, angels in powder form. Does that make sense to you? Strange they didn't make a film about ketamine angels, huh? Because I had an addiction. Because I was addicted to ketamine. But anyway, whatever. It's a joke. So, the fig tree. I mean, this is the thing, because fig is also a shortened way of saying figure. Because, I mean, if you look in textbooks and stuff like that, it'll say fig dot 1, fig dot 2, fig dot 3. But the fig dot is basically, it's saying figure. So fig is short for figure, and I'm figure. That's the thing, I'm figure. Yeah, they really don't like me talking today. So, yeah, and that's the other thing I was going to mention about gift. Well, my name's Grant. Grant is very similar to the idea of gift, right? Christ, Mars, gift. And what did she call me? She called me Grant. I mean, that's the thing. Another name for gift is present, and present means now. So strange how all this magic works, isn't it? I mean, at Christmas time, people buy gifts for each other and they give each other gifts. They grant each other gifts, right? Yeah. Hmm. So. Fuck off, bitch. Excuse me. Um. Hmm. Fig. Tree. Fig tree. Okay. Well. Um. The Freemasons. Yeah, the Freemasons. I mean, that's the thing. When I was growing up, as you know, my mum, she used to work for investment banks, and I always, when I was a kid, I used to admire her. I used to think, wow, look at you doing so well with your career, and I always felt like almost like the world revolved around her or something like that. Do you know what I mean? Like that's kind of how it felt for me growing up as a little kid. I always thought my mum seemed so important. Quite bizarre, really. Yeah. But really, all it was she was stealing my power and trying to wield it. That's all it was, right? Um, yeah. Strange. Um, um, so that's the thing, right? Fee is dead, and I'm called the fountain of living waters. I suppose demons, they seem to think living is leaving. The fountain of leaving waters. Um, hmm, um, hmm. Yeah. Um, hmm. The fig tree masons. The fig tree masons. Yeah, that's an interesting combination of words. The fig tree masons. I mean, that's the thing, it's the tree, well, the tree that Adam and Eve were not to eat from. They were not supposed to eat from it. The tree of knowledge of good and evil. I mean, that's the thing, if you look at the word, good and evil, well, devil is spelled D, which is the last letter of and then you add evil to that and you get the devil. I mean, that's the thing, right? Adam and Eve, they fell. I guess figs fall from trees, don't they? Yeah, I suppose they do, don't they? The fruit will eventually fall off the tree, and the leaves fall off the tree as well, eventually. You know what I mean? I mean, that's how trees usually work. I mean, I suppose it can vary depending on the tree, but, excuse me. So that's the thing, right? Because, the human body is called a figure. Every person would describe their body as their figure. But then again, what did Jesus say? What did God say about the human? What did God and what did Jesus say about people's bodies? Well, the bodies belong to me, God. They belong to God. Okay? Your body belongs to me because I'm God. So that's the thing. I'm the Word. I am figure. The body that your spirit is in, that's my body. You're supposed to look after your body. You're supposed to look after your body, but your body belongs to God, right? So, yeah. Figure. So, yeah. I mean, the company that's called Fiji, and sells water, they sell bottles of water. I mean, that is an attempt at trying to take my fountain of water, I suppose. I mean, that's the thing. It's magic trying to acquire what is mine. I mean, it's similar, that's what a lot of companies do, I mean, look at Sky Broadcast, there's Sky News, there's Sky Business, Sky Television, Sky Movies, all that, Sky Sports. Yeah, I mean, I'm Sky. I'm God. The sky belongs to me, not them. Sky Internet. Well, I'm Sky. The internet belongs to me. The world belongs to me. The universe belongs to me. People's bodies belong to me. A lot of things belong to me. People may not want to acknowledge that, but it doesn't mean I'm lying. It doesn't mean, because people don't understand the truth. Or they refuse to acknowledge the truth. The fact is that evil spirits have been, they're still trying to run away from me. They should, the fact is, they know I'm God. Evil spirits know who I am. They don't want to acknowledge me. It's that simple. They would rather fight me. They want to fight me for what belongs to me. They want to try to escape judgment. But they can't escape me. All they can do is try to drag this out as long as they possibly can. That's their, that's the only way, that's the only thing they can hope for, is to prolong how long this takes. And that's it. Eventually, they're going to be judged, and that's it. They've got nowhere else to go. So, they're going to cry about it and be unhappy about it. They shouldn't have fought with me. They only make it worse for themselves by doing that. So, shall I leave it there? Shall I?